Hi. Uh, Today I want to show off my fusion reactor. Just finished building it, and I finally set up all the machinery and got everything worked out, so it is self-sustaining. As you can see, these tanks are filling up nicely. Their system, a bit of lag. The system produces actually a little bit over what is needed to run it. Here's the machine itself, very simple. This is the output. By the way, this is all you need to run the deuterium tritium. Output goes up here. 2 plasma generators feeding ASUs, feeding the injectors to keep it running. The rest goes into this tesseract. First, and most notably, goes into all these machines here. Pumps out here, you have 3 of them. These, what is that, 8 MFSUs, all run these 32 industrial electrolyzers, which are fueled by, I believe it's 12 aqueous accumulators. They also power these 9 FSUs, which get split down to low voltage, which power 144 industrial centrifuges. Leave it 120 to make the deuterium, and it's 24 to make the tritium. I'm not sure. I'll link what I use. Someone on the Feed the Beast subreddit did all the math. I'll link them or their post in the description, so if you're building one, you can check that out. Secondly, or actually lastly, these generate more than's needed. So it's also powering these recyclers, which I'm using for Automatifab. It's 6 automatic recyclers that are overclocked 3 times each. Each of them have 5 igneous extruders. I think you might actually need more than this to fully run the fusion reactor. I'm not positive. It still hasn't been running for that long, so I haven't been checking on it too much. Next, you can have 3 of them. I just have 2 just because I wanted to build up a little bit of excess in the system otherwhere. It's going to this IDSU, which actually is full. Billion units of power right there. It's quite nice. You've noticed this. This is in the version of GregTech that is in Ultimate FTB Ultimate 102, which is what this is running. That's also what version that has the fusion reactor, the new one at least. There's a cap on the amount of power you can put into one of these that it will use at any given time, and that cap is it's 4 times, it's 8,192 EU per tick. That's also how many it can take per packet. But if you give it any more than that, it'll restore it and use it when it gets less. What that means, though, these all produce a quarter of that each plasma generator. Is you need to have more than one to run this thing. And so for this setup, I'm using most of the plasma that comes out of this to run these. So I have 6. Each is powered by 4 plasma generators to get it to max. As you can see, some of them don't necessarily want to get powered. That's just because, I guess the plasma is being used elsewhere right at the moment. But there are occasions where all these are powered. You've probably seen 1 or 2 EU matter come out during the course of this so far. So yeah, these get fed. This is just a infinite storage bus. If it's actually kind of broken just because of the rate of items. I'm gonna work on it later. But this gate says if inventory is full, send a pulse, triggers this, gets stored in there. This says inventory is empty, send a pulse, sends it back in. So that's that. I mean, it's pretty simple. I'll have to check and see why this one's not quite working. I don't know. here. Let's see if I can not. Let's see if I can't get it working. Boom. 6 seconds later, should get some. Whatever, I'll get into it. So yeah, that's that. If you're wondering how this is all running, I'm running this off an implied energistic system, as you can probably see here. For these, at least, there's export buses giving them empty cells, import buses taking out their outputs. These export buses giving them hydrogen, import taking the empty cells, and also the deuterium. These are getting some of the deuterium, producing tritium, blah blah blah. It's right here. It's transposer, simple. Same thing on this side. This does fluctuate because the way it's set up, a lot of these all finish at the same time. So it'll go down while they're all cycling, and every 150 seconds we'll get a big burst. So it should equal out perfectly. And yeah, that's it. Monster rebuild, but kind of fun, and especially after you finish, you get to kind of like walk around and just see it all working. Produces quite a bit of UU matter. Let's see, I started this, I think, close to 2 hours ago. And it's produced, well, I had some of this before, and I think it's produced something like 5 stacks. So far I used a bit of it to make some different things, but yeah, it's quite nice. I do enjoy it. Kind of fun. See, these are all, some of these are probably still getting water right now. I think they just finished their cycle. This right here is going to be for valve gears. I'm going to have some steam boilers. This is going to be filled with oil bees. But that's for another video. So yeah, that's about it. Also, just, I guess, forgot to note this. These are superconductors. If you can see over here, you don't have to use superconductors. You can just throw them into an HV high voltage transformer and get high voltage out. But they do produce 2048 EU per tick / packet, same thing in this case because they're generators. And these can take that, so I figured why convert it, I can just use some superconductors. They're not, if you're building a fusion reactor, they're not all that expensive. In fact, you need a bunch of the things you need to make superconductors while you're crafting this anyway. The most tedious part of this is the chrome. So actually, why don't I quickly hop over to some of the older parts of the server, like this is the older part, my original base that I still have some stuff set up at. Show what I was doing for the chrome. I have a witch farm, which the setup for is over here. It filters out the redstone. Everything else gets thrown out. This is my storage system chest. This, I have a export bus that keeps this full of redstone. Keeps these centrifuges full. These would all centrifuge out. Create ruby dust. This is just for cells. Ruby dust goes blue. Gets electrolyzed. Goes back into here, chrome. And then I would smell stuff here. In fact, I think there might still be some in here. Yep. So that's it. Thanks for watching.